Welcome to today's video. In this video, we're exploring the 6 most valuable and ultra-rare Australian 10-cent coins. These coins may look ordinary at first glance, but their history, unique features, and rarity make them some of the most sought-after treasures in Australian numismatics. We'll uncover what makes them stand out, why collectors chase them, and how much they can be worth in today's market. First up, we're exploring the most valuable and expensive. The 1968 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is one of the most fascinating and collectible coins in the nation's decimal currency series. While many 10-cent coins from this era are common in circulation, certain examples from 1968 stand out due to their rarity, unique features, and collector demand. For numismatists, this coin holds a special place as it represents an early stage in Australia's decimal coinage history. Only 2 years after the country transitioned from pounds, shillings, and pence to dollars and cents in 1966. Even in very dirty or circulated condition, a 1968 specimen can spark interest, and when found in rare varieties or preserved states, it can command significant value in the numismatic market. The 1968 issue is significant as it came during a time of stabilization in the new decimal system. Minted at the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra, this coin formed part of the circulating series that showcased Australian flora and fauna alongside Queen Elizabeth II's portrait. The obverse features the effigy of the Queen designed by Arnold Machin, which became widely used across Commonwealth nations during the late 1960s. At this stage, Australia was still solidifying its new decimal identity, and coins like the 1968 10-cent piece symbolized both economic modernization and continuity with traditional British monarchy. Unlike commemorative issues, the 1968 coin was intended for everyday use, but its role in consolidating the new monetary system makes it historically notable. The design of the 1968 10-cent coin is both practical and symbolic. Struck in cupronickel, it has a diameter of 23.6 millimeters and a weight of 5.65 grams, making it durable for circulation. The reverse, designed by Stuart Devlin, depicts a lyrebird, a native Australian bird known for its elaborate tail feathers and remarkable mimicry of sounds. The lyrebird motif is not only artistically striking, but also a cultural emblem, representing Australia's unique natural heritage. On the obverse, Queen Elizabeth II is portrayed in regal simplicity, with the word Australia and the date beneath. While the design remained consistent across years, small die variations and minting quality can make certain examples from 1968 distinct and highly collectible. In terms of rarity, the 1968 Australian 10-cent coin is notable for relatively low mintage compared to other years. Around 16.8 million were produced, which is modest when placed against more abundant issues of the same denomination. What drives rarity further are known varieties and error coins from this year, including off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or weak strikes, which significantly enhance value. Condition also plays a decisive role. Coins in very dirty, circulated states often hold only nominal value above face, but high-grade uncirculated or proof-like specimens can be difficult to obtain, which drives collector interest. Error coins from 1968 in good condition can be considered ultra-rare and fetch considerably higher prices. Market value for the 1968 10-cent coin varies sharply by condition and variety. In heavily circulated or dirty condition, most coins are worth between face value and a few dollars to collectors seeking gap fillers. However, uncirculated examples graded by PCGS or NGC can command $500 to $1,500, depending on quality. Error coins, or coins with rare die varieties, have sold for far more, sometimes exceeding $5,000 at auction when in pristine states. The steady appreciation in prices for early decimal era coins reflects growing collector demand both within Australia and internationally, as enthusiasts look to secure key pieces from the foundational years of the decimal system. For collectors, identifying a valuable 1968 10-cent coin requires attention to detail. Examining for errors such as misstrikes or unusual die variations can make the difference between a common piece and a rare collectible. Professional grading is recommended for high-quality examples, as certified coins tend to command higher premiums at auction and in private sales. Proper storage is also essential. Coins should be kept in non-PVC holders or archival quality flips to avoid toning or further degradation, particularly for circulated specimens that may already show signs of wear. The 1968 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II may appear ordinary at first glance, but its role in Australia's early decimal coinage, combined with modest mintage, unique design, and the potential for rare error varieties, makes it a highly collectible item. Even coins in dirty condition serve as accessible entry points for beginners, while uncirculated or error specimens represent significant investment opportunities for seasoned collectors. Its enduring appeal lies not only in its numismatic value but also in its cultural symbolism, bridging Australia's heritage with modern coinage. For collectors today, the 1968 10-cent coin remains a worthy addition, with potential for continued appreciation in both historical and monetary value. And secondly, we're talking about the 1967 Elizabeth II 10-cent coin, stands as one of the most enigmatic and coveted rarities in all of Australian numismatics. Its immense appeal to collectors stems not from a pristine, lustrous appearance, but from a profound scarcity that elevates even the most worn and dirty examples to the status of numismatic royalty. While most Australian decimal coins from the 1960s are common and inexpensive, this particular date is the undisputed key to the entire 10-cent series, creating a powerful demand that far outstrips the minuscule supply. The hunt for a 1967 10-cent is a pursuit that can define a collector's journey, and its discovery, regardless of condition, is always a momentous occasion. Its significance is rooted in a unique confluence of historical circumstance and minting policy, making it a tangible relic of Australia's transition into the decimal currency era. The historical context of the 1967 10-cent coin is inextricably linked to the introduction of Australia's new decimal currency on February 14, 1966. The Royal Australian Mint in Canberra produced vast quantities of coins in 1966 to ensure a smooth transition. By 1967, the need for new 10-cent coins had diminished significantly as the initial flood of currency was now in circulation. Consequently, the mintage for the 1967 10-cent was exceptionally low, with estimates suggesting only around 1.5 to 2 million were struck, a tiny fraction of the 146 million minted the previous year. Furthermore, it is believed that a substantial number of these coins were held back by the mint and later melted, as there was simply no commercial demand for them at the time. This coin, therefore, represents a year of consolidation rather than expansion, a quiet pause in production that inadvertently created a numismatic legend. The design of the coin is consistent with other 10-cent pieces of the period, featuring the graceful Arnold Machin portrait of a young Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse, surrounded by the legend Elizabeth II Australia. The reverse, designed by Stuart Devlin, showcases a male lyrebird, one of Australia's most iconic and melodious native birds, with its elaborate tail feathers displayed in intricate detail. The coin is struck in cupronickel, measuring 23.60 millimeters in diameter and weighing 5.65 grams. What makes a high-grade example particularly special is the sharp striking of the lyrebird's delicate feather patterns and the queen's hair, elements that are often the first to wear away in circulation. However, for the 1967 issue, the concept of a high-grade example is relative, as the vast majority of survivors show significant signs of wear and tear from decades in public use. The rarity of the 1967 10-cent is absolute. Its survival rate is astonishingly low, with perhaps only a few 100,000 examples escaping the melting pots and remaining in existence, nearly all of which spent decades in circulation. This is why encountering one in anything better than very fine condition is exceptionally rare. The importance of condition cannot be overstated. While a heavily worn, dirty example is still a highly valuable key date, the price difference between a well-circulated coin and one in extra fine or uncirculated condition is astronomical. There are no known major varieties or errors for this date that significantly alter its status, as its fundamental rarity is tied solely to the original mintage and survival rate. Its scarcity is the primary driver of its desirability, making it the ultimate bottleneck for anyone attempting to complete a date set of Australian decimal 10-cent coins. The market value for a 1967 10-cent coin reflects its extreme rarity and pivotal role in the series. A typical example in very good to fine condition, exhibiting heavy wear with details softened but the major design elements still clear, can command prices between $200 and $400 Australian dollars. A coin in better, very fine condition with sharper detail might realize $500 to $800. Examples in extremely fine or, in the rarest of cases, uncirculated grades, are seldom offered publicly and can fetch several $1,000s at auction, with prices heavily dependent on the subtle nuances of surface preservation and luster. The value of a dirty, circulated example is firmly underpinned by the simple fact that for most collectors, it is the only type they will ever have the opportunity to own, ensuring a strong and liquid market. For collectors seeking to acquire a 1967 10-cent coin, diligence and verification are paramount. Given its high value relative to other common decimal coins, it is a frequent target for counterfeiting. It is strongly advisable to purchase examples that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by reputable services such as PCGS or NGC. These third-party graders authenticate the coin, confirm its date, and assign a numeric grade that provides an objective assessment of its condition, which is crucial for such a valuable item. When examining a raw coin, one should look for the full outline of the lyrebird's tail and head, and the clarity of the queen's portrait to gauge the extent of wear. The 1967 10-cent coin is a numismatic icon whose worth is derived from its profound scarcity rather than its aesthetic state. Even in a very dirty and well-circulated condition, it remains a cornerstone of any serious collection of Australian decimal coinage. It serves as a fascinating historical artifact from the early years of Australia's decimal system, a tangible reminder of a time when the demand for new coinage had temporarily abated. For the advanced collector, it represents a significant trophy and a sound investment. For the newcomer, it is a symbol of a major collecting achievement. Its appeal is enduring, and its potential for long-term appreciation remains strong, solidifying its place as one of the most important and valuable coins of modern Australia. And thirdly, we're going to explore the 1969 Australian 10-cent coin featuring Queen Elizabeth II is one of the more intriguing pieces in Australian numismatics, valued for its scarcity and historical background. While not every 1969 issue is rare, certain ultra-rare varieties and minting anomalies have elevated this coin into the spotlight for serious collectors. Its reputation stems not only from its low survival rate and high grades, but also from the subtle yet distinctive characteristics that set it apart from more common issues. Collectors across Australia and internationally regard the 1969 10-cent coin as an important acquisition because of its unusual production background and the strong demand it continues to generate in auctions and private sales. Even in dirty or circulated condition, its potential rarity can make it highly desirable if the right attributes are present. Historically, the 1969 issue sits at an important stage in Australia's decimal coinage. The transition from the pre-decimal system in 1966 had been a major national shift, and by 1969, the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra was refining its production of coins to ensure consistency in design and strike quality. At the same time, there was growing public confidence in the new decimal series, and coins like the 10-cent piece had quickly become a staple of everyday commerce. The 1969 edition reflects this moment in Australia's economic history, as it represents a period when the new currency was solidifying its place in daily life. Unlike commemorative issues, the 1969 coin did not honor a specific event, but its role as part of the foundational years of decimalization makes it historically significant. The design of the 1969 10-cent coin follows the established pattern created by Stuart Devlin, who was the designer of Australia's first decimal coin series. The obverse features the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, based on the effigy by Arnold Machin, which was widely used during the late 1960s. This youthful depiction of the Queen is iconic and was seen across many Commonwealth coins of the period. The reverse displays Devlin's interpretation of the lyrebird, one of Australia's most distinctive native birds, renowned for its elaborate tail feathers and exceptional ability to mimic sounds. The combination of the regal obverse and the uniquely Australian reverse symbol gave the coin both cultural and artistic importance, ensuring its enduring appeal. What sets the 1969 10-cent coin apart in numismatic circles is its rarity and top condition and the existence of error varieties. Mintage numbers were lower compared to other decimal issues of the time, and coins struck in this year were heavily circulated, leading to a scarcity of uncirculated or proof-like examples today. In addition, collectors prize certain varieties, such as off-center strikes, double-struck details, or planchet flaws, which can elevate the coin's desirability and value considerably. Even a dirty or heavily worn coin can sometimes reveal error features once examined closely, making condition only part of the equation when determining rarity. The market value of the 1969 10-cent coin varies significantly depending on grade and variety. Average circulated examples typically fetch little more than face value, but high-grade uncirculated or proof specimens can reach between $1,000 and $3,000 at auction. Particularly scarce error varieties, especially those authenticated by major grading services, have been known to bring in figures exceeding $6,000, making them some of the most expensive 10-cent coins of the era. Demand remains strong because so few coins from this year survive in top condition, and collectors often compete aggressively for verified high-grade or unique specimens. For collectors, identifying a valuable 1969 10-cent coin requires careful attention to detail. A thorough inspection of the Queen's portrait, the clarity of the lyrebird feathers, and the coin's edge can help determine overall strike quality. Certification from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC is highly recommended for coins suspected to be rare, as this removes uncertainty and boosts market value. For preservation, storing coins in acid-free holders or slabs helps prevent further deterioration, especially if the coin is already in a dirty or worn condition. Auctions and established dealers remain the safest avenues for acquiring genuine rare specimens, though some collectors still manage to find valuable examples in inherited collections or estate sales. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1969 Australian 10-cent coin is an object of cultural and historical significance. Its design reflects the artistry of Devlin and the symbolism of Australia's natural heritage, while its place in the early years of decimal currency marks it as a milestone in modern Australian economic history. The combination of rarity, design, and historical resonance has ensured its place as a sought-after collectible for both beginner and advanced numismatists. The coin's enduring popularity reflects not only the pursuit of rarity, but also a shared appreciation of the stories embedded within Australia's currency. The enduring appeal of the 1969 Australian 10-cent coin also lies in its investment potential, as demand consistently outpaces supply in the numismatic market. While many coins from the decimal series are plentiful, the limited survival of high-grade 1969 examples ensures that values have steadily risen over the past 2 decades. Collectors and investors alike see it as a strategic acquisition, with graded specimens often outperforming other coins of the same era in terms of appreciation. This combination of scarcity, cultural symbolism, and proven market performance makes the 1969 10-cent coin more than just a collectible. It is a tangible asset that continues to command respect and attention in the global coin collecting community. The 1969 Australian 10-cent coin stands out as one of the more elusive and intriguing issues of its series. With its ties to the formative years of decimal currency, its refined design, and its scarcity in higher grades, it holds a distinctive position in numismatic collections. The presence of error varieties and the challenge of finding pristine examples further heighten its desirability. For collectors, it represents both a test of patience and a rewarding acquisition, embodying the balance of history, rarity, and artistry that defines the very best of coin collecting. And at the end, we're talking about the most valuable and expensive, the 1974 Australian 10-cent coin, representing the Elizabeth II era, stands as a formidable giant within the landscape of Australian numismatics. A coin whose legendary status is forged not from pristine beauty, but from an almost paradoxical combination of immense rarity and typically abysmal condition. Its appeal to advanced collectors is profound, rooted in the ultimate challenge it presents, to locate an example that has survived the ravages of time with even a modicum of its original detail intact. The coin is highly sought after today not for its aesthetic charm, but as a crucial key date, a glaring omission in many otherwise comprehensive collections of decimal coinage. Market demand perpetually outstrips the minuscule supply, creating a situation where even a heavily worn or, as specified, very dirty specimen commands significant attention and financial investment from serious numismatists who understand its pivotal role in the series. The historical context of the 1974 10-cent coin is intrinsically linked to a period of significant economic and logistical transition for the Royal Australian Mint. By the early 1970s, the decision was made to cease the production of bronze and silver coins at the Perth Mint, consolidating all Australian decimal coin minting in Canberra. This transition meant that the 1973 and 1974 mintage periods were unusually complex. While the 1973 issue is renowned for its extreme rarity, the 1974 is arguably even more enigmatic. It was not a coin intended for widespread circulation in the same manner as previous years. Instead, its production was exceedingly limited, primarily to fulfill mint sets or to serve as a temporary reserve during the mint's consolidation. It does not commemorate a specific event, but rather symbolizes a quiet, administrative shift that inadvertently created one of Australia's greatest numismatic rarities. The unique features of this coin are consistent with the standard Arnold Machin design for the decimal series, yet it is the very absence of a unique feature that adds to its mystique. The obverse features the mature portrait of Queen Elizabeth II by Arnold Machin, surrounded by the legend Elizabeth II, Australia, 1974. The reverse displays the iconic lyrebird designed by Stuart Devlin, a masterful representation of Australia's native fauna. The coin is struck from a cupronickel composition, weighing 5.65 grams and measuring 23.60 millimeters in diameter. In high-grade conditions, the coin would exhibit a sharp strike on the lyrebird's intricate tail feathers and the fine details of the queen's portrait. However, what makes this coin technically special is its elusive nature. The standard design becomes extraordinary due to its near-total absence from circulation, making any example, regardless of condition, a significant artifact. The rarity of the 1974 10-cent coin is absolute, with official mintage figures being notoriously low and the survival rate of any quality being even lower. Unlike coins where rarity is driven by a specific error or variety, the 1974 scarcity is fundamental. Very few were ever struck. When discussing condition, the very dirty state mentioned is not just common, but is the expected norm for this issue. The few coins that escaped being housed in mint sets were likely mishandled, stored improperly, or entered circulation briefly, accounting for their typically poor preservation. The importance of condition is therefore viewed through a different lens. While an uncirculated example is the Holy Grail, any identifiable specimen, even one covered in grime and heavily worn, is considered a major find because the primary challenge is simply ownership of the date itself. This extreme scarcity fundamentally drives collector demand, creating a market where condition is secondary to existence. The market value for a 1974 10-cent coin in a very dirty and heavily circulated condition is substantial, a testament to its foundational rarity. While a flawless, gem uncirculated example would reach a value well into the tens of thousands of dollars, a low-grade piece, grading perhaps fair to good, might still command a price between $1,500 and $3,000 Australian dollars, depending on the visibility of the date and major design elements. The driving factor of its value is not its state of preservation, but its status as a key date. The market for such coins is not the general collector, but the specialist who requires it to complete a date run of the decimal series. Auction results consistently show fierce bidding for any example, with prices holding strong and appreciating steadily over time due to the finite and shrinking supply against a growing collector base. For collectors pursuing this numismatic white whale, practical advice must be tempered with extreme caution. Identification is the first hurdle. A very dirty coin requires careful inspection to confirm the date is indeed 1974 and not a worn 1971 or 1972. The importance of certification by a top-tier grading service, such as PCGS or NGC, cannot be overstated. For a coin in such poor condition, encapsulation serves not to highlight a grade, but to provide authentication and guarantee the coin's genuineness, protecting the owner from the ever-present risk of counterfeits or altered dates. Acquiring such a piece should only be attempted through highly reputable numismatic dealers with expertise in Australian decimals or through major auctions where the coin's provenance can be somewhat traced. Engaging with specialist numismatic communities can provide valuable leads and expert opinions before making a purchase. The 1974 10-cent coin is a numismatic paradox, a coin whose value and significance are magnified by its typical state of disrepair. It holds immense historical importance as a relic of the Royal Australian Mint's consolidation, a tangible piece of a brief and poorly documented period in Australia's monetary history. Its aesthetic appeal in a dirty, worn state is purely that of a survivor, an object that tells a story of scarcity and neglect. For the collector, it represents one of the ultimate achievements in Australian decimal coin collecting, a piece that transforms an ordinary collection into an exceptional one. Its investment potential remains robust, underpinned by an unchangeable rarity that ensures its status as a cornerstone of the series for generations to come.